Hello, people of YouTube. This is Gray's Guitars. I am Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. Today we are talking about a guitar very few people can afford. I'm not buying one. I can't afford it. It is too expensive, and I'm hoping that it eventually kind of trickles down to a less expensive version, like they have done with a lot of guitars, like the Greenie. There was a super expensive version, another version that wasn't as expensive, then a standard version, then an Epiphone version. And I'm really hoping they do the same thing here. We haven't seen it yet with the double neck. So this is the Gibson Jimmy Page SJ200. It's $20,000. So if you want to know the price of it and you want to dip, I don't blame you. But we're going to talk about it and the specs, and someone's buying them. There was a month or two ago they released the Jimmy Page double neck EDS. Was it the 1275? And that was $50,000, and people bought them. And people are going to buy these things. It's going to be people that have a lot of expendable income. Rich people, not your average Joe. Not most of the people that are probably even watching this video. But let's go ahead and take a look here. So, it was an amazing sounding instrument. Gibson's Jimmy Page SJ200 is a five-finger signature model based on the acoustic he borrowed to record Led Zeppelin's debate album before it was stolen. According to Gibson, the new acoustic has been rendered to Page's exact recollection, owing it to the apparent absence of the original model. Gibson has added to its burgundy lineup of Jimmy Page signature guitars, burgeoning. What is this word? All right. We're going to do a word of the day right here because I have no idea what this word is.
Burgeoning.
Burgeoning. Beginning to grow or increase rapidly. All right, we didn't need that in there. But by unveiling the 1964 SJ200, a recreation of the acoustic guitar that Led Zeppelin legend played in the 60s and early 70s, two versions of the model have been introduced. The first is a standard $13,000 version. Oh, I'm sorry. There's two versions. The standard is only $13,000. Holy crap, Gibson. Which, according to the website, is already sold out. The second is the Jimmy Page Collector's Edition. Only 50 of each will be made. So $13,000. Sorry, you're not getting it. This has an even higher price of $20,000. Collector's Edition, by comparison, offers some additional perks, namely the fact each have been played and signed by Page himself. So, yeah, I don't think his signature's worth $7,000, but to each their own. As per Gibson's own release, this is based on the Super Jumbo that he played while Led Zeppelin tracked the debate album that was used to record cuts such as Babel, I'm Gonna Leave You, Your Time Is Gonna Come, and Black Mountainside. That particular guitar took the stage for his rare acoustic solo performance on the Julie Felix show in April of 1970, where he played. Which other notable is the fact that the original SG200 that inspired the model never actually belonged to Page, as explained in the new Guitar Player issue. Looks like Led Zeppelin borrowed the guitar from producer Mickey Most, who lent Page his own personal acoustic on both occasions. The 200 belonged to him. He let me it for the first album. Let me use it for a second album because I think that he knew he wasn't going to be the producer. Most had a tendency to lend his acoustic to recording artists. Jeff Beck and Big Jim Sullivan both reportedly played it, according to Led Zeppelin News, but at some point, the original example was stolen, and its whereabouts remain unknown. We do know that he got back his, I think it was a 1957 Black Beauty, the all-gold pickups, 3 pickup with the Bigsby. I know he did finally get that back. Maybe this will pop up at some point, now that they're releasing this model. Unfortunately, many years later, someone stole them. They just took a walk. Page said in the same interview, told me and said, "Mickey, I'm so desperately sorry to hear that. They were his instruments, man, that's terrible." That means no physical guitar was examined when Gibson pieced together this collection. Instead, each model was thoughtfully rendered to Jimmy Page, exact standards and recollections in order to recreate the original example. I'm sure they had some old pictures from the 60s and 70s, too. Might not sound like the most scientific project to replicate a vintage instrument, but according to Page, it's been a successful project. When I saw the prototype, I thought, wow, they got it, he says. I took it out, I thought, oh my goodness gracious, it's so beautiful. It was so authentic. There's the Gibson word of the day, and yet so new at the same time. Whatever the case, there's quite the tale behind this new release, as it's worth noting that Page does reportedly own a similar spec to SJ200. That guitar collector Peter McGolliffe, the same individual who helped track down Page's stolen Black Beauty, gifted to him on his 70th birthday. As for the specs, both Cherry T versions feature a flamed AAA maple back and sides, AAA Sitka spruce top, as well as, that doesn't look, why are you calling it a AAA? Doesn't AAA mean flame? Maybe not in Sitka world. Three-piece maple neck, rosewood fretboard. The neck shape, which has been sculpted based on Page's memory of the model, has been basically labeled a rounded profile. So it's basically a reproduction of a 1964 SJ200. It looks pretty stock. I do like how on some of the older ones they actually have the two-pneumatic there style bridge. Easy to intonate. You know, acoustic guitars are not always the best for getting intonated with the saddle. I mean, it looks nice. It looks cool. You got the waffle backs on there, the thicker binding on the custom logo. So the most intriguing spec, though, of course, is the two-pneumatic bridge, which sits in the 60s Roadwood Mustache Bridge. I do love a Mustache Bridge. This is a very quirky spec. Gibson only tried a few years at the start of the 60s, as such exceedingly rare on existing examples. I guess if you probably tried to buy an original, you're probably not going to find one for under 20 grand, is my guess. But here's the $20,000 one right there. You know, it looks pretty. I'm sure it's aged. Yeah, they aged it and everything. But $20,000, yeah, 50 collector's editions of each. So there's probably an unaged version. No, nylon saddles. Does it even have electronics in it? Mother of pearl, multiple rosewood mustache bridge plate, two pneumatic bridge, case candy. I think this is straight acoustic. I don't think there's actually any, you can't plug it in. Yeah, that's a shame. You can't plug this in. I guess that is what it is. Let's go ahead and just go to the main Gibson page here real quick. And let's see, do we have both of them? Let's do the regular one. Updating cart. Yeah, it's thinking about it. Yeah, this looks aged too. Maybe the collector's edition is just because it was, you know, you pay the $7,000 upcharge because it was played by him. I'm guessing. Out of curiosity, I want to see what just a regular one of these is selling for outside of it. Why do they not have any? What if I just do acoustics? Oh, sure. Studio, Johnny Cash, made to measure, Murphy Lab collection, smaller body. I don't know. Okay, we're just not gonna. All right, my computer's not cooperating with me, but so we're just gonna go ahead and Google it and go to shopping. Shopping. Okay, so you can get a regular one of these for slightly under $8,000. Holy crap, Gibson. Good God. Oh, there's a used studio version for $3,000. Okay, there's one. So I guess if you're going new, it's like $7,500. Ouch. That's all I really have to say about that. Oh, no, there's one for $5,700. Okay, they're calling that one pre-war. That's why. All right, so that's why that one. So $5,700, we'll say. In terms of specs, is it the same? That's what I want to know. Let's go to actual Sweetwater and find out. Because if it's the same specs, it's kind of like, you know. Specs. Jupoof. Yep, flame maple, Sitka spruce. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, I guess if you got the money and you feel like ponying up for it, by all means. But I don't think there's a lot of people that have $5,700 regardless just to buy a regular SJ200. I've always liked the SJ200, but $7,000, you know, $6,000, whatever you want to call it on an acoustic, it's expensive. It is. It's just. I don't think it's a price point where most people can afford it. They probably don't make a lot of them every year. I know it's kind of Gibson's cream of the crop, but I just don't see it. You know, I honestly just don't see it. I don't see a lot of people buying these, but they will. You know, they'll sell them. I mean, that's why they're only making 50 of each. The $13,000 one's already gone. If you want to order this, apparently you have to call the Gibson Garage. So, I mean, there it is. There you have it. It's a lot of, I mean, I complain about the price of a lot of things, but $20,000 for a guitar, it's not a guitar. This is an art piece. Let's be honest. You know, no one's going to actually play this thing. It's going to sit in a case, get displayed on a wall, something along those lines, and someone's going to be like, oh, yeah, it's Jimmy Page's. You know, custom signature. He signed and played it. Something along those lines. It'll be something that you brag to your other rich buddies about. But realistically, you're not going to get your hand on one of these. You're not going to be able to physically touch one of these ever. And if you do, cool. Sit down and play it. Is it worth $13,000 more, $14,000 more than a regular one? No, it's not. Especially the one that's not signed by him. Well, it's not worth it. So you could buy 2 really nice Gibsons for the price of this thing. Actually, you could probably buy 3 really nice Gibsons for the price of this thing. 3, maybe even 4. I guess it depends on what tickles your fancy. But no need to drag this out any further. Cool guitar, stupid expensive as always from Gibson. But until next time, subscribe, notification bell, like, share, and as always, have a good one.